Let me share my screen. Just in case, yes. Can everyone see my screen right now?
Yeah, we can see.
So Haris, just in case, if there's anyone who just entered in this Zoom, can you just let them in? Because
Okay, sure. In that case, you have already made me the co-host. Okay, sure.
yeah, thank you. So as I just said, so I'm just going to explain about the Yokohama hub later, and it'll be nice, especially for Haris, since he is one of the shapers in Yokohama hub. He's also going to share about the brief experiences of how he joined in Yokohama hub and what he has been gaining from our community. So a global shaper community, it's in a community among 18th, so between 18th and 30s, among from a different diverse background. So this is in a community organized by the World Economic Forum for more than 10 years. The reason behind is that as you know, there's a famous international forum called a Davos Forum, which usually held in the Davos in Switzerland, especially it's an event that welcomes the important people like politicians, the CEO of the companies, and some other stakeholders. However, the founder of a global shaper community thought that we also need to increase the presence of the youth voice because not in Japan, but when you look at the populations like in a global wise, there are lots of the younger generations who also who want to share about their opinions that they can share in a global scale. So in Japan, there is a 6 hubs in total. By the way, in the global wise, there is more than 500 hubs in more than 150 countries. So there's many different ways to get into the other hubs as well. But since this is a Yokohama hub, I'm going to explain you more about Yokohama hub today. And by the way, in Japan, there is a hubs in Tokyo, Yokohama, and also Kyoto, Osaka, Fukuoka, and Okinawa in the total of 6 hubs in Japan. So the Yokohama hub, so our mission is to create a social impact, especially from Yokohama to the world. And especially since there are lots of the foreign shapers in our hubs, we deeply care about the importance of diversity and inclusions. So especially in our hub, we usually have a monthly meeting in English. And obviously for those who are not familiar with speaking in English, there's always someone who can help you translate. And even for someone who's not familiar in Japanese, there's always someone who can translate for you. So today I'm also going to tell you about the criteria in order to join a Yokohama hub. But English, it's not a mandatory skill set to get into a global shaper community. But however, Yokohama hub is one of the community we usually speak in English and also in Japanese. Just in case before entering, start applying for the applications. So in Yokohama hub, we have 24 active shapers. So by the way, I'm a Kenmaru, curator from Yokohama hub. So curators, it's basically the leader for each hub. So there's a curator and there's like a vice curators that support curators, which is Chihiro. And there's a impact officer. Impact officers is someone who is responsible for making the social impact report that we need to make for each year. So Coco is the one who is responsible for impact officers right now. And there are so many other amazing shapers that we are creating a lot of a project in our hub. And today we have Haris, one of the amazing shapers in Yokohama hub. So he is going to share about how he joined a Yokohama hub and also how he has been joining of being part of the global shaper communities later. Yeah, so these are the shapers in our hub. So for Yokohama hub, so there are 6 main the events that we usually have as an hub, but as an global shaper communities. I mean, there are so many other external the events that we can also participate other than these. However, I specifically talk about a 6 event because these are one of the amazing projects for the events that you can participate as an global shapers. For Yokohama Hub, so we have the retreat event for shapers to understand about other shapers, because so we usually use the word retreat as an event to help everyone to get know each other. So actually last year, it's already last year. No, this year. No, it's still this year. So we had a retreat event in Okutama, so which was amazing for someone who haven't talked with other shapers for a while, and we also going to have a retreat event in this October. So especially for those who are applying for a Yokohama Hub, so we encourage you to participate in this retreat event as well. And also for Yokohama Hub, we have an annual year party. So we usually have these parties on around June or July. So this is an event where the alumni and also current Yokohama shapers gather together and share about what they have learned from a global shaper community. And other than that, we have another big event called a SHAPE. So SHAPE is an international event that where the shapers who can, it's an event for the shapers and organized by the shapers. Usually this year, annually, there are about more than 5 shape events along the globe. So for example, I participated in one of the shape events, which was held in the Washington, D.C. in the United States, and which was amazing experiences that I was able to meet with a lot of the global shapers, not only from the United States, but also from the Caribbean region, since it was easier for them to participate in that specific shape event. However, there are many other shape events coming very soon. So once you become a global shaper, so you also have a chance to participate in other shape events as well. And also we have a round table with Professor Schwab, who is the founder of a global shaper community. So thankfully, in Japan, the founder of a global shaper community, you sometimes come to Japan for important meetings. So we have a chance to have discussions with him as well. And also there's another very important event called a Global Shaper Annual Summit, which held in Geneva in Switzerland. If you become a curator of your hub, you have a chance to meet with all the other curators from more than 150 countries in Geneva. So I recently participated in this the annual summit. So for me, it wasn't only about like meeting within the different shapers. It was to me more about like learning about the importance of inclusive leaderships, the importance of why we even need to have the community where we can increase our voice of the youth within the people from the different countries that I even have like met before in my life. And there's another big event called a Summer Davos. So other than the Davos forums in Davos, there's another the international forums usually held in Dalian in China. So this international event focus in more in international businesses and the entrepreneurships. So this event is not for all the shapers, but you have a chance to apply for participate in this summer doubles if you are global shapers. So there's what I want to share here today is that there's a lot of way to get involved in a different like opportunities if you're a global shapers. So as I just said, there are lots of shape events coming soon, this year's, but also next year's as well. And for the activities, we usually have like monthly meetings for our members, usually a beginning of the each month. So for example, next month, so we are going to have a monthly meetings on September 7th. So I'm going to tell you about the criteria later. But if you become a shapers in Yokohama Hub, you're expected to participate at least 60% of all these monthly meetings, and also participate in at least one of the projects that we are leading right now. So this is something you are probably very interested in order to apply for the Yokohama Hub. So the most important part is the age. So this is not like something created by the shapers. This is one of the criteria that's being set by the World Economic Forum. So you must be between 18 and 27 years old when you apply for a global shaper communities. And obviously, it is very important for candidates to understand the values of a global shapers communities, and especially a Yokohama Hub, because we deeply care about the diversities and inclusions. So hope you understand what I mean by that. And also you need to be present in at least 60% of a hub meetings and or relevant local activities per year. So later, I also share about all the projects that we are leading as an Yokohama Hub. So you can participate in one of the projects, or you can even create your project by yourself. So these are some of the questions that frequently asked to Yokohama Hub. So the first one is how often do you have a meeting? So as I just said, we have a meeting once in a month for about 1 hour. So usually we have a meetings on Saturday or Sunday morning. The second questions that we usually get asked by is can I create my project after joining a hub? So yes, definitely. Yes, you can. So we highly encourage shapers to create your own project, and however, you need at least 3 shapers from the same hub to start a new project. So now I briefly explain you about all the projects that we are leading now. The first one is a Fukushima-bu. So it's the project that helps to understand about how the locals from Fukushima prefectures can revitalize from natural disasters. So as you know, there was a huge earthquake and tsunami happened in Fukushima. And the most important part of whenever you need to revitalize from natural disasters is not when it's happened. The most important part is after the natural disasters happened. So in order to increase the awareness of what happened in Fukushima prefectures and also how they're trying to make their communities better. So we always bring about 20 to 30 Japanese and international participants there and see the inside of the nuclear power plant, and also meanwhile creating opportunity for them to talk with the locals and how their making like a small businesses by themselves. So we are also going to have a study program this October in English. So if you're interested in, you can even apply for that program as well. And the next project is a Yokohama Women Meetup. So it's a project that create the space for specifically for the Japanese young women to be able to share their private concerns for the maternal health, because as you know, in Japan, there's still a lot of the Japanese young females who suffer from not being able to share their concerns within their colleagues or their friends because of the high pressures that they feel in Japan. So this is why we are trying to make a place where everyone can share within others. The next one is a venture cafe. So it's a project that create an ecosystems for the Japanese entrepreneurs, the venture capitals, even the a local governance in Japan. So we don't necessarily focus in the startups or entrepreneurships whenever we host a panel discussions in Tokyo CICs, which is located in Toranomon in Tokyo. However, because we believe that it is always important to welcome the different kind of stakeholders other than entrepreneurs and venture capitals. So the last time we hosted the event for Venture Cafe, so we invited a mayor of a Kamakura cities to share about how the Kamakura cities has been making up improving the Kamakura from their point of view. So the next project is Rising Sun Green Makers. So it's a project that empowers the next generations of climate entrepreneurs. So compared to other developed countries, unfortunately in Japan, there's not many the young but also old people who are interested in the issues of climate change yet. So we have been hosting the career event for those who are interested in the climate change but don't know how to proceed their professional careers. So one of the successful events we just had a few years ago was a Green Career of the Future, which we invited the shapers from a different professional background, like some shaper who's working at the finance, NGOs, and even the automobile industries to share how they are contributing to the climate change from their point of view. So we are planning to host a similar event near futures. So if you're interested in the field of the climate change, there we go. And this is the last project. I will say it's more like a short-term project because we don't usually work on this project occasionally. However, this is one of the important project that we are working as an Yokohama hub. So this, which is a Hiroshima Junior Forum. It's a project that we host the workshops for a Japanese high school student to understand about the importance of the peace within other international students in Hiroshima prefectures. And especially this August, it is one of the important months for all the Japanese citizens to think about how we can maintain our peace and also prevent from any war that we have been seeing in the world right now. So we usually go to Hiroshima prefectures and host a small workshops for the high school student. And so here's the most important things that I wanted to share with you today, which is the applications process. So the online applications has already started, and our deadline for the applications is the beginning of the September. So your applications needs to be written in English, and for those who pass that first sections, we are going to tell you to the next stage, and you're expected to participate in the interview for the final selections, which we are going to conduct on September 14th and 15th. So make sure that you save these, especially the September 14th and 15th, because we want you to have the interview in these days. And for those who pass all the final the selections, and you are expected to participate in the Yokohama Hub Retreat, which we are going to have on October 9th and 10th. And the reason why is that this is one of the most important the events that we have annually. So, and also it's a really good opportunity for you to talk with the current shapers in Yokohama Hub. So also please save these days as well. So I think, so this, so now, yeah, so this is the last slide for the introductory of a Yokohama Hub. Yes. So now we are going to move on to the like a casual discussions about anything that you are not familiar with in the Yokohama Hub. Or so far, do you have any questions or anything that you want to ask about the applications process or about the project?
Thank you. Thank you for sharing the information. Actually, I've got a question about the monthly meetings.
Yeah.
And does monthly meetings happen like by online basis or in person?
Thank you for the question. So we have monthly meetings, either half online and a half offline. And when we have the monthly meetings offline, we usually gather in Yokohama, and so you don't need to like live or like stay just in the Yokohama or in the Kanagawa prefectures. However, we want you to come to these monthly meetings in Yokohama.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, I would just like to add, we want our members to also meet in person, at least like every other month. But of course, some members cannot make it in person. So we have a hybrid meeting. So even if you are not available or you are not able to come to Yokohama, you can also attend online.
Yes, thank you so much.
Could I have a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you for sharing about the community today. So you just introduced the about the activities of the Yokohama Hub, and then you said like some activities are aimed for like understanding or getting to know each other shapers. So is there any like other purposes for some events like a shape you said? Like there's a so you said that like there's some opportunities to take the lecture or to listen to the professor's talk or something. So is it like is there like common themes or topics taking? Yeah.
Yes, thank you for another important question. So, especially for the shape event, since this is organized by the shapers in a specific hub, so depending on the shape events, there's always a different topics that they focus on more. However, since I'm one of the shapers who participated in many shape events, so I can maybe share some of the like a typical examples that Shaper like tends to choose. So which are the climate change, the refugees, like immigrations, and educations, and civic engagement, like elections, which is happening in US and also in other countries, and natural disasters, because there are many countries also suffer from a natural disasters these days, and gender inequalities, and Japan and many other countries still needs to improve in these topics. So, but depending on the countries or depending on the hubs when they host the event, I mean, when they host a shape event, there's some topics that they would like to focus more, but these are some of the topics that I just heard during the shape event.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
So maybe Haris, since you recently joining a Yokohama hub, I mean from last year, so can you maybe briefly introduce about yourself and maybe why you joining Yokohama hub?
Sure. Okay. Thank you, Kenmar, for introducing about Yokohama Hub in detail, and thank you everyone for making time for this meeting and showing interest in Global Shapers Yokohama Hub. To introduce myself, I am Haris Gulzar, and I have been living in Japan since almost 4.5 years. I came to Japan as a master's student to study computer science and AI at Tokyo Institute of Technology. And after that, I decided to continue living in Japan, and now I'm working as AI researcher in Japan and also part of Global Shapers Yokohama Hub. Yeah, so Yokohama was the first city I lived in Japan for 1 year. So that's why I had a very deep connection. And currently living in Tokyo, but yeah, my place is quite near to Yokohama, so it's quite easy for me to go there. Regarding my motivation, I'm not sure if you can like fully relate with that, but my motivation to come to Japan, even before masters, I visited Japan for one week for a very short visit, and I got very interested in Japanese culture, in Japanese hospitality, in like the environment in general in Japan, and I was really moved and really wanted to learn more about Japan. So that's when I went back. I decided to come back to Japan for a longer time. So after having come to Japan, I have definitely faced multiple challenges. Language was one of them. But thankfully, with the passage of time, I learned some Japanese language, and language slowly became less of an issue. But still, the major issue for me and for many foreign students who come to Japan is that to connect deeply with Japanese culture and Japanese people. So coming here and working here, many foreign people tend to make their own foreign social circles of their own countries, or for example, people coming from Europe, they would make a friend circle of European people, and same for American, same for South Asian. So I have seen it among many foreign people that they find it very hard to deeply connect with Japan. Many of them want to, for example, do social contributions in Japan, but there is some cultural gap, some language gap, some social gap for them to be fully connect and, for example, be accepted in Japan. So, of course, this can slowly improve as you learn more about the culture, more about the language. But for me, the Global Shapers community has played a very, very crucial part in that. Not only that I was able to connect with a lot of Japanese people in this community, but also those people have a global mindset. So most of the people who are in our community have learned or are interested in learning about global issues and driving social change by having a global vision in mind. So this was such a fortunate community for me that I was able to find that missing block for me to fulfill my life in Japan, to deeply connect with Japanese people, and to be able to contribute socially in Japan. Probably not all of you as Japanese might fully relate with that, but I am sure there is a very big motivation for Japanese people, or motivational reason for Japanese people to also be part of this community, and that is to have a global vision or understanding of the global problems. So one of the key qualities that we look in global shapers is glocality. So what is glocality is that having a global vision or global understanding of the social problems, but creating the impact in your local vicinity. So I guess that is the most impactful way of doing the social contribution, that your social contribution is not just contained to your area, but it is scalable to the whole globe. So that's, I think, this one word really defines the spirit of a Global Shapers community, that people here have global vision, understanding of the global problems, have actively networked with the global leaders from young leaders from all across the world. And by learning lessons from all of those regions or from all of those people, they try to create and try to implement those lessons on their local regions. Like many of our projects in Yokohama Hub have taken a lot of inspiration from a lot of other global projects that are going on across the world. Yeah, so as there is a very good motivation for me to be part of this community, and I'm sure you can also see a clear benefit or the cause as a Japanese to be part of this community. Yeah, yeah, that was a bit kind of very personal point of view from me, but if you want to have more discussion about anything specific, please feel free to ask.
Yeah, Hari, thank you for sharing about wonderful experiences that you are enjoying through Global Shaper community. So if you have any questions to Haris or even to me about the general things about Yokohama Hub, or even if it's not related to Yokohama Hub or the Global Shapers communities in general, please feel free to ask about it.
Yeah, Ingmar, there is one question from
Yeah.
Mula in the chat.
If I need to relocate after you become the member of Global Shaper Yokohama, can I transfer? Yes, I think it's a good question. So what I have understood, according to my definitions of transfer policies by Global Shaper communities, yes, you can. So you can transfer to other like a Global Shaper communities, but once in your life. So whenever you apply for any hubs along the globe, so you have another chance to move to other hubs. But I usually like recommend you to choose the hubs that's close to your communities or the place that you're living now. Because I know some of the shapers in our hubs, but also in the other hubs, because of their jobs or because of their families, they eventually have to move to other countries. However, in that case, we also happy to support your transfer to other hubs as well. And do you have any questions for 日本語でも大丈夫ですよ。もし何か気になることとかあれば。
I have a question.
Yeah.
So thank you, Harris, for sharing your thoughts. So I would like to ask you, both of you, about the takeaways or lessons from any activities, since you joined this community. Is there any like pretty influential events, or influential like things that happened in the community that has, like a huge impact on your life?
Haris, do you want to go first? Or...
Yeah, sure. It's just my first year in Global Shapers Yokohama Hub. Although I have participated in Global Shapers community as a like general participant before, but I joined Global Shapers Yokohama community last year. But even this very short time, I had multiple times when I felt really grateful and was really moved by being part of this community and the lessons aligned. First thing I can mention is the Fukushima Boo. Almost, I think last year or like before that, I had the chance to travel to Fukushima as part of the Fukushima Boo's study program. So there, the team, the Fukushima project team, organized a wonderful tour and gave us a briefing of the revitalization activities in Fukushima and introduced us to a lot of Japanese people who are showing such an impressive leadership, who have even moved from Tokyo to there to revitalize the local business or local economy there. So I was so moved by their leadership and by their bold actions, that how they have like taken such bold decisions to dedicate for such a greater cause. And I think I might never have a chance to go to, for example, the nuclear disaster place and actually seeing the situation and how Japanese government is putting a lot of efforts in, for example, cleansing of the area from the nuclear waste and revitalizing the local community. I was really impressed by the efforts, and also I felt that by actually visiting there, I also became part of the larger cause. Initially, I just heard about the like for Fukushima's disaster and how the local economy is struggling to boost. But after having visited there, I felt that now the revitalizations kind of issue, I am now part of that. So whenever I can, I try to play my part in sharing awareness about the situation in Japan and with my foreign friends as well. That's one thing. Just recently, I also had a chance to participate in North Asia retreat in Okinawa. So as Kenmar mentioned, there are a lot of shape events across the world. So this wasn't a shape event, but it was very close to shape event because the Okinawa's hub team invited people from all North Asian countries, Korea, China, and Singapore. And the theme of the event was, what does peace mean to us? So, because I believe after World War II, Japan has done a lot of efforts in raising awareness about global peace, and especially the Okinawa area has been playing a very active part in like sharing awareness and like pushing for the global peace and the kind of need for the dialogues to resolve the global conflicts. So by participating in that event, we had multiple discussions, multiple workshops in the event to have a discussion that what peace means to us, and by having the correct understanding, by some of the things like social issues are very clear. For example, Fukushima has suffered a nuclear disaster, and now we need to revitalize it. It is absolutely clear to everyone, but some of the social issues are very subjective. What peace means to one person, it could mean very differently to another person, right? So by having these dialogues from people across different countries, I understood that how different people think about social issues and how still we can come to a conclusion that can resolve the greater conflict. So by participating in that event, which was a 3 days amazing event, I was able to network with a lot of global shapers from North Asian countries, but I also really had chance to think about global peace, how to tackle the subjective social issues, not just the objective social issues. So I guess these could be the two main highlights in the last year for me. Yeah, I hope that answers Kantar's question. How about
Yeah,
you?
thank you. Do you have any, Umar-san?
I think Haris already shares a wonderful
Yeah.
about what he gained from, from being a part of Global Shapers community. So yeah, like I think for those who are in these A meetings right now, probably have been to other countries other than Japan. And that's my assumptions. So that it is probably why you're like applying for the Global Shapers communities as one of the reasons. Yes, and I was one of them. And because I grew up in different countries when I was young, and I thought I already knew about how the world see about Japan, or how about the different kind of countries, but which was not true until I joined in the Global Shaper community. Because, for example, there was one shape event which was held in the Abu Dhabi in UAE, and I had a chance to talk with a lot of the shapers from all the Middle Eastern and North African countries. And the way that I was seeing the societies was completely just one of the Western points that I used to maybe studies back in like a middle schools and high schools. And when I really think of the true meaning of like an international mindset, is that you always need to think about the different point of views that even the people from countries that you have never been or talked before. So after talking with the shapers from UAE, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Oman, and Algeria, many shapers from the countries that I even never thought of going there in my life, like at least at the age of 20s. I made so many friends, so many issues that they're trying to tackle in these regions. So for example, I never thought there's a countries that they need to make a water, like because they cannot have a waters in their countries, so they have to generate waters by themselves. Like think about Japan, like there's tons of water, like there's a river, it's surrounded by the oceans, but depending on the place that you're living right now, the things that you're seeing like in a normal days, it's not normal to them. So after going to the countries that I wasn't expected in my life, surprisingly, because I made so many friends from the Middle Eastern countries, so especially this year, I eventually decided to go to Saudi Arabia and then see the shaper friend that I made in UAE. So I think that was like one of the turning points that I had after like joining a global shaper communities. So I think depending on how you enjoy the journey of being a global shaper, I think everyone has a different like opinions about it, but definitely I think there's always something you can learn from the global shaper communities. And even thinking about the home, like where's your home? It's like maybe the home maybe the place that you're living right now, it might not be the hometown that you used to live maybe when you're young, but and as long as you have the passions to to save or improve your hometown, I think there's always the more positive way that we can create even like a bigger impact on our societies. So me myself, I lived in Yokohama for 2 years. I mean, which is not my entire life. But after being a part of a Yokohama hub, there are so many more opportunity for me to know about Yokohama, but not only the Yokohama, but also the other prefectures of Japan. And that is why Hari said the importance of the locality, not the globality, like not only the global, but also understand about how we can like make more impact on a local levels as well.
Yeah, thank you. That totally makes sense. Thank you.
Any other questions or any things that you want to share during this meeting?
Hi, may I?
Yeah.
Hi, thank you very much for the great and detailed explanation and sharing the wonderful experiences. I would like to know more about the process of planning or preparing for the events or projects, especially like, are we going to choose one team, or how many people are there in one team, or how often do they have meeting as a team, if you have a team kind of mechanism?
Thank you. So it's depending on the projects that you're going to join in. So I would say we don't usually have a constant meeting, like a meeting like every single week. But whenever we plan to host like a study tour, like a Fukushima-bu, so before I will say like a 1 or 2 months before the actual like a study tour happens. So people usually gather together and then prepare for that like a study tour. So I will say depending on the project, but in order to maintain or create your project, you need at least 3 shapers in your hub. And I will say because the Fukushima-bu is the biggest project in our hub, so there are more people who are getting involved in that project. But if it's like a venture cafe, which Haris is joining in right now, we usually host the panel discussions, like an event in Tokyo CIC, say once in a 3-4 months. So it's not that lot. So depending on maybe the working environment for the life stage that you have, you can maybe choose the project that's suitable to your like a lifestyle.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you very much. By the way, how many people are in, let's say, Fukushima team?
I think about there's I think 7, 8, there at least like 6, 7 people are always like being part of Fukushima-bu,
Like
but
active members.
active members. But you don't need to you just need to be at least like one of the project. So it's always welcome to participate in other projects too.
Yeah, that would be amazing, especially like for me, who is interested in a lot of projects that you have.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
a lot of the shapers who are joining more than like a multiple project. And like even myself, because I wanted to create a project related to climate change, so I eventually made a project by myself. So you can also choose to have your own project within the shapers among a Yokohama hub. And you can even collaborate with other hubs like in Japan, but also outside of Japan.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And maybe Eddie, Ishii-san, if you have any questions about Yokohama hub or anything related to GSC.
Okay, thank you. May I? On the application form, the kick-off date were listed as October 5 and 6. Is it corrected that they are October 9 and 10?
Let me check. Let me double check. No, I think October 5 and 6. Did I?
Okay.
So it'll be nice when you apply for a Yokohama hub. Please also save these 2 days because
Mhm.
these are one of the few chance for you to see all the other like shapers in Yokohama hub.
Thank you very much.
And what else I can share? So we have a 24 active shapers, and I will say the proportions of the gender is, I will say 60% are the female shapers and others are the male shapers. And about 20, I will say 15 to 20% are the I will say the foreign shapers. What do you think, Haris? Less?
Maybe around 15. I would say around 15.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah. One thing I can also add, just for your information, not just our members are not just involved in the Yokohama's activities, but also casually involved in other hubs' activities as well. We have a Slack channel for all of the hubs in Japan. So it is Global Shapers Japan Slack channel. So there are usually a lot of casual meetups that members are doing. A lot of information is being shared about a lot of community events that different members are involved in outside of Global Shapers community as well. So yeah, they share those kind of information, and anyone from any hub can participate. And yeah, some of the members are very actively organizing nomikais and casual meetups, and many members from all across Japan tend to join. And also, as for example, Kenmaru and other senior global shapers, they have a lot of friends from all across the world. So whenever someone visits Japan, they get in touch with the local members, and we try to host a small gathering or small coffee or lunch or dinner with them, and ask anyone who is interested to join. Yeah, so there are a lot of these kind of casual meetups as well.
Yeah, these are really these are also important like events, like because a lot of Japanese global shapers are like love to have nomikai, like because in Japan we have more than 120 Japanese the shapers in total, because there's a 6 hubs in Japan. Usually each hub has a more than 20 shapers, so like 20 times by 6 is like 120. So I would say not all the shapers are very active, but because some of them are very active, that they're like always like hosting the online event, offline event, gathering like parties. So you always have a chance to like participate in many events. And maybe Haris, so I actually asked to other shapers in the morning, since we also had a like brief sessions of Yokohama Hub in the mornings today as well. But so what's the characteristics, or how do you describe of Yokohama Hub compared to other hubs? Because we have 6 hubs in Japan.
So first of all, Yokohama Hub is known as the most active hub in Japan. I have heard from the members of all other hubs as well. Thanks to the efforts of senior global shapers, including Kenmaru and our previous curators team as well. They have done a lot of efforts in connecting. So we, for example, a lot of in-person events and retreats for new members to get to know each other well. I think that's a very good reason that almost all of our members are very actively engaged, and that actually translates to like more projects or more activities in different projects. So that's one thing. It's not my words, it's the words of the members from other hubs, that Yokohama is the most active hub. And also statistically, Yokohama hub is the most inclusive, or we can say like globalized hub, because we have probably the largest number of like international members or shapers in global shaper Yokohama hub. And yeah, and probably we are the only hub that have English as our official language. That's not to say that we don't allow speaking Japanese, but to create more inclusivity with the foreign shapers, or like to attract more international shapers, we have set English as our default language. But of course, if someone is not that good in English speaking, we have like Japanese communication as well. Yeah, so probably these are the couple of things in my mind right now.
I think you really describe about like Yokohama hub very well, and because there's many other hubs in Japan and also outside of Japan, but especially if you're really close to Yokohama or emotionally close to Yokohama, so we are really happy to welcome you to be part of Global Shapers, because I personally planning to increase the number of the project or the event in Yokohama or in Kanagawa prefectures. However, I mean, there's many projects going on in Fukushima and many other prefectures of Japan, and even outside of Japan. So there's many ways that you can get engaged. And maybe Yasui-san or Ryota-san, if you have any questions, this might be a great chance for you to clear about your concerns, because this is the last the chance that you can ask about a Yokohama hub before applying for the for our hub.
Oh, thank you. Actually, this is kind of similar question, but I want to ask Kenmaru-san, how do you find this organization? Then what's the motivation that you are doing the activity in this hub?
Thank you. I think this is also important thing. So for those who needs to leave the meeting after 8, please, because we are in like summer vacations right now, so we don't want to like force you to stay longer. But I would like to share this opinions in English, but also in Japanese, because this is very important for Yokohama hub. So so the motivations of why I'm being especially even for the curators of Yokohama hub, is for me, I don't know whether you are working for the company or studying at the schools or have your own companies, but I always wanted to find a place where I can like share about my careers or about the private life or things that I can truly trust among the group. But maybe it's more about the Japanese cultures, that whenever you're working for the Japanese companies or any part of the Japanese societies, sometimes it's a bit difficult for you to I will say feel connected to other people, and especially if you are interested in the like a global issues. So this is why I continuously want to make this community more sustainable, and also help more people understand about why we need to make an inclusive community, and also promote like ownerships to not only to the leaders but also to everyone in Japan. そうですね。日本語でも少しだけお伝えすると、 なんだろう、これは自分の一つの、思いみたいなのもあるんですけど、皆さん多分何かしらの組織に所属をされてる中で、多分おそらくこのグローバルシェイパーズコミュニティに応募したり興味があるということは、多分社会問題に何かしらの観点で興味があると思ってます。で、その時にもしその課題とか興味のある社会問題を、会社とか今所属しているコミュニティでもしできるのであれば、それはすごいいいことですし、でも多分、こういうコミュニティに興味があるということは、多分今いる組織だけじゃなかなか多分今の思いとかを共有できるところがないんじゃないのかなっていうのが正直自分が思ったところで、っていうのもあったので自分自身こういうコミュニティに入ったのと、入ってみてより一層いろんな世界の社会問題というかバイネームでそれこそ例えば、数ヶ月前とかにパレスチナのハブのシェーパーとかにあったんですけど、それこそすごい、あとウクライナのシェーパーですね、とかと話してたときに、自分たちの居場所を作るんだっていう思いをすごい熱量で伝えられたときには、やっぱこういうコミュニティってもちろんそれぞれの国とかそれぞれの地域で形は違うと思うんですけど、日本は日本ならではのコミュニティを作っていきたいなと思って、そんなモチベーションで今、シェーパーやってます。I hope I answered to your questions.
Yes, ありがとうございます。とっても勉強になりました。
So maybe one things that especially for the Yokohama hub, we usually because there are some of the communities that because there are some other communities that people just want to gather with other people, more like sort of using community as like a gathering party. But because the global shaper communities, it's a place where we create a social impact locally, but also globally. So if you like the values of the global shapers communities, that is good. But if you're more interested in, I don't know, maybe start your own businesses or maybe start your, I don't know, have your own companies and connect within the other, I don't know, venture capitals or other entrepreneurs. I think there are many other business communities that helps you to grow your businesses. But since global shaper communities, it's NGO, it's a communities for everyone feel free, feel safe enough to start their social project. So I hope that helps you to further understand about the Yokohama hubs, about you.
Yeah, having said that, of course, there are a lot of examples where many people started social projects, and that maybe not in their plans, but that turned into business later. So there are also a couple of cases like that. Not saying that we are trying to create businesses out of Yokohama, but of course, when you drive a lot of social changes, there are a lot of problems that you can solve, and a lot of problems that you're solving can turn into business easily as well. So there are a lot of examples like that. Yeah, anyways.
Yeah. Because there are some of the hubs or some other communities prefers to make a space, I would say more like a business oriented. But for a Yokohama, especially for Yokohama hub, we want to make an inclusive community where everyone can start a project in a comfort zone. Yeah, since the meeting is already over for 5 minutes, so we would like to finish this meeting very soon. But thank you for participating in this the Yokohama Half Brief sessions. So if you have any further questions in the futures, you can also ask our questions to our social medias in either Facebook or Instagram. So you can do that or even to our emails. And or even you can ask to me or to Haris directly if you need it. So thank you so much. So we are looking forward to apply for a Yokohama hub by September 1st. So this might be another maybe summer homeworks to you, but hope you like it.
Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the long weekend.